Hey, everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, who is very frantically gesturing at me, co-host and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Hello.
I was trying to read those cues, but I don't know if I... How's it going?
Well, it's fine. I'm clearly not home. I'm on the road today, helping Mars move back to college, but I didn't want to miss the show again, so we're just doing it remotely today.
Well, we appreciate that very much. Your commitment is noted.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a lot to get to, but I have some fun, exciting news to share. I've been telling you for a while that Fidget Whimsy, my little fidget website, was undergoing a big reboot, and the reboot has been completed finally.
Okay.
And I'm so excited. I'm putting my website in the chat, but it is just fidgetwhimsy.com, or if you go to truecrimesquad.com, it's my link there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Wonderful.
I have some really, really fun new things available over there. You guys, I don't know what anyone was doing allowing me to get a 3D printer. I don't think that thing has had a break for the 6 or so weeks I've owned it. It just runs non-stop. So I want to show you. It's really fun, and there's just so many choices of fun stuff to make. So I wanted to share this with you before we get started, when we start talking about all the murdery stuff. One of the funnest things that I have right now that I just put on the website today is this. It's a guinea pig house with a guinea pig and a bed and a food dish. Is that not the cutest thing ever? I made one for our youngest sister, Kara. Her birthday was last week, and I made her one for her birthday, and I went, oh, everybody's going to want these. I even offer it in 3 different color combinations now. It's so freaking cute. So it's over there.
Adorable.
Here's something else really fun I have. This is Hank. Over at Fidget Whimsy, every fidget has a name, and they also have an affirmation that if you play with them, if you fidget with them, you will be strong and fast or smart and interesting or, whatever. So this is Hank. This is Hank. He's my hammerhead shark. I think he's so freaking cool.
He's amazing.
This is Ricky Raccoon. Brand new. I just did him in the last couple of days. So cute.
Handsome as
hell. If you're a raccoon person, as I know many of you are, given the Daybell trial, here's Ricky Raccoon. And then I have talked about this. This is Uriel, the Unipegasus. I talked about her a few shows ago too. But she's so pretty. So anyway, they're all over there at fidgetwhimsy.com. Do I have a dinosaur? Yes, I do. I have a Stegosaurus over there. I don't have one in front of me right now, but yeah, go to fidgetwhimsy.com and you'll find my Stegosaurus. I'm going to have some other dinosaurs as well. Can they be made with a tacky texture? Not these guys. No, but they do have they do have a cool texture. Like this one is really, really smooth. They do. This one is a little rougher because it feels a little bit more like a shark, guys. It's a shark. So anyway, they do all have a texture, but none of them are tacky. I don't think there's a way to do that, but thank you for that question.
Not 3D printing, I don't think so, but no. Interesting.
Yes, this is a reincarnation of the raccoons at Chad's house, although I had to whimsium them up because all my stuff is whimsical, and that's why this is a purple raccoon with teal ears.
Of course. It's perfect.
I did want to tell you guys also, because some of you have asked, I don't live in the US. Can you ship to me? So my email address is on my site. If you want to know what that would entail, you can email me and we can figure it out. Everything is set for shipment within the United States, but beyond that, we'll have to just work on it together. Tom says I should send Chad this raccoon so he can decorate his cell. No,
I don't
he
think he's
kills
allowed to
raccoons.
have
He
it.
could fuck off. I don't want to kill raccoons. So anyway, if you like fidgety stuff and you like fun little toys, it is a lot of fun over there, and I'll continue to add more. But I have finally updated the whole site itself, so I'm super excited about it, and I just appreciate you guys supporting us and taking a look at our craft websites. That's always an awesome thing, huh, Katie?
Always, absolutely,
Yeah.
Always.
'Cause
Well,
Katie's
good job.
also
I'm
always got
proud
cool
of
stuff.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it has been a big job, and I'm just glad that it's done. And now I can just add things individually as I make them. Actually printing a really pretty little, very sort of ethereal dragon, and she's going to have a matching egg that I will have up on there here in the next couple of days. So there's
Awesome.
always more to come. You can't ever be done. I will never be done, obviously.
No.
Anyway, with
There's always
that,
something.
let's get to true crime, because
Yeah.
my case for you guys today is insane. But I think we're going to get insane before that with Katie, because you have some WTF news for us.
I do, but before we do that, can we talk briefly about the Daybell House situation?
Oh, yes. Oh, my Lord. You guys.
We're dipping one toe into the controversy, and one toe only, because
Yes.
we don't play. But let's talk about it. So last week, Nate Eaton broke the news that there is a group, a nonprofit, a local donor that wants to stay anonymous, that has purchased or is in the process of purchasing.
Probably.
If it's not Frank Vandersloot, it's probably the Larsons. Those are two very big, wealthy people, wealthy landowners in our area. I would assume it's Frank Vandersloot, but at any rate, they're saying it's a local person who's forming a nonprofit who has purchased the Daybell property and is turning it into a place called Crossroad Park. They put out a press release. The press release said that they are going to work with the families and put together this place of memorial for the victims. They didn't specifically mention Tammy by name in the press release, but they did say they were going to work with the families. So that came out, and a lot of us said, good.
We were all kind of hoping it was going to be something like that.
Yeah, because the alternatives could really suck. Last week, my daughter came home and said that her friend, the people that she works for, were saying that they'd considered buying it and turning it into an Airbnb. And I'd heard that from several other people that had considered buying it and turning it into an Airbnb, which, in my opinion, would be horrific, because that would become epically a horror house. Yes.
Well, also,
and it would
it's
be
way out in rural Idaho. Like, there's nowhere. No one's going to want to come on a trip and stay in that house. Like, there's just no. It's just not.
Well, but if it was, my biggest worry is that it would become a horror destination type thing.
Right.
Murderabilia
kind of thing.
We know people from out there that have actually moved out of the area because of, or out of that neighborhood because of the trauma and horror at that house. This community has been horrified. We have been terrorized by all of this. Rexburg was not ready for the amount of attention it's received. We weren't ready for any of this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say all that first. And now, apparently, people are upset. Some of the podcasters are very upset and talking loudly. It sounds like Kay is upset. I don't know. She has commented on Twitter about that they haven't reached out to the families, which I don't think that means they're not going to. I think that just means they haven't.
Right.
All I want to say about it is that I think that people who don't live in Rexburg should probably take a seat on this one. Not the families, they always have a right to an opinion, but truly, our community needs to heal. We need to be able to move beyond this. This is something that will affect us for time immemorial. And everyone who drives past that house every day or any other time, everyone who drives past that house never forgets what happened there. We'll never forget what has gone on there. And I just don't really understand what the outcry is and why people are upset. They have the right to their opinion, but I'm going to lay it out right here that that's mine. I think that Rexburgites, the people who live here, Kristi, all of us that grew up here, we would love to see something healing happen here so that something horrific doesn't happen here. And also because we need to heal. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Annie doesn't seem to be upset. I don't want to wade clear into who's mad and who said this and who said that so much as that I just want to say that that's where we're at.
Well, and there's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of, dare I say it, clickbait going on around.
Oh, yeah.
Pretending to be in the know from people that I do not think are in the know about this and who are creating a big drama around something that is not a big drama. It needs to stop. It's so gross to me, all of the conjecture and using that as a reason to stir everybody up and piss everybody off. And stop it. The only official thing any of us know is that house is in the process of being purchased, and this press release came out on East Idaho News. Those are the only official things that we know are real. And because we live here and are from the community, we understand what's happening much better than people who don't. And who understand things like, no one is going to turn that into an Airbnb because it won't make any money.
No.
It's not a place somebody is going to stay because of where it is. And it's not being turned into a murderabilia murder house, which is what some people are saying. All this gross shit. None of that is true. Those are just guesses.
We don't want
that
to happen.
Excuses for views and clicks. And that's just gross. And we don't play like that. And we just want people to stop with the bullshit.
Honestly, if anyone wanted to control what was going to happen,
every right to them.
Yeah. But anyone who wanted to control what was going to happen with that property had the right to buy it. It's been for sale. If you needed to have an opinion, I guess you should have bought it.
Yeah.
But this, for our area, is best case scenario.
It is. It is. It means that it isn't going to just stand in the old way, in the way that it has appeared since this all happened. And that's a good thing for the people who have to drive by it every day, who have to live next door or around the corner or down the road.
Yep. So
thank you.
We don't like to do the drama, but I think that was worth talking about. Yeah,
I think so too. And we're just begging people, just don't stop the drama. Just stop.
Yeah.
Whether you're a podcaster or you're a listener, just let it be, and we'll see what happens. There's a website coming that will explain everything, and when that's out, then we'll know what's going on for sure.
Yeah, and we'll keep you updated. We can go by, we can photograph, we can keep you updated on what's going to happen with it. But this has been confusing and disappointing to me. And anyway, that's all. That's where we're at.
Agreed. Well, and with that, how about some more WTF news?
Yeah. Okay. I've had a lot of clients over the years that live in apartments that have to deal with all of the, the side effects of living in duplexes or apartments where you have close neighbors and the noise from those neighbors, and it can be a challenge. And we also all have probably lived with or stayed with or experienced somebody who had really, really loud snoring issues, right? Well, this is what stirred up. Oh my gosh.
Wake the dead. He will. Unreal.
It didn't matter where you were in the house. You could hear him. It was insanity. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there has been an incident with a gentleman who also was a loud snorer, a really loud snorer. And that was a real bother for his neighbor.
Okay.
Gotta get my... not sure where my
Amy said she
photos
used to
have
be able to
gone.
hear her grandpa from outside the house. We could too, Amy.
Yes.
We could too.
Well, apparently, I would say that's true in this instance as well. So this man right here, his name is Christopher Casey. And Christopher Casey apparently has a very loud snoring problem. And he had a neighbor whose bedroom was straight through the wall from him. So they're, looks like the heads of their beds probably touched, were right through the wall from each other. And they both lived there for quite some time, and they had many, many altercations and fights over the years over Christopher Casey's snoring and how loud it is and how bothersome it is.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, back in January, this came to a physical head when a man named Robert Wallace, who was the neighbor, removed the window screen from Casey's home while he was eating dinner and started yelling at him yet again about the snoring and telling him he can't get any sleep and he's got to figure it out and it just can't keep going on, and threatening to kill him over the snoring. And unfortunately, he had threatened to kill him before over the snoring. And that resulted in Christopher Casey coming out with a knife. They had a physical altercation. Casey did receive a wound on his thigh. Unfortunately, Wallace was stabbed multiple times and died.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So Christopher Casey, of course, was charged. Last week he took a plea deal, which took the murder charge off the table. So this was, I think, a third-degree murder. At any rate, whatever the plea was, pled him down to 11 and a half to 23 months in a county jail and another 3 years of probation. So Wallace's family said that the snoring had become such a problem for him that it had really degraded his quality of life because he wasn't getting any sleep. He was really bothered. He was really angry all the time. And it led to this. Casey made a statement. He said that he's sorry for what happened and their final disagreement was unfortunate.
Unfortunate? The guy is dead.
Somebody died. Yeah.
My God. Noise-canceling headphones are a thing.
No.
I mean,
I will admit I've given my husband a pretty good elbow a couple of times, due to snoring, but I don't think I would consider,
murder.
Getting into a, yeah. But it wasn't even the snorer that got murdered anyway, but holy moly. I'll tell, right? He does need a CPAP. What in the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's probably a sleep apnea thing, but wow, that is terrifying to think that this resulted in murder. Oh.
Yeah. Holy
really
crap.
Sad.
Really sad and wild. My gosh, it didn't need to come to that.
No.
My clients usually just move.
Right? Or move your bedroom around or switch to a different bedroom if you can, or get some noise canceling headphones, or play white noise at night. Leave the TV on.
Seemed like there was a lot of ego going on.
Must have been, because there really were a lot of other options in this situation.
Other than the murders? Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems to be. Like it really could have been. So,
yikes.
There you go. Well, I'm going to kick it back over to you for our main case.
Okay. Squad, I'm going to take you on the ride of a lifetime. And maybe you know this story or some of this story. This was all brand new to me before I researched this case. But this is Joshua Hunsucker. Joshua Hunsucker had a wife named Stacy. And Stacy died on September 23rd of 2018. This is in Gaston County, North Carolina. Right before Stacy died, there was a really famous, or well, I don't know if it's famous, but really well-known eye drops poisoning case in the news. The poisoner, her name is Lana Sue Clayton, and she has since pled guilty to the murder of her boyfriend using tetrahydrozoline in Visine eye drops. Okay? So this story, this is insane. So Stacy dies. Josh gets sketchy instantly. Files for life insurance 2 days later. Chad Daybell could have learned from this. He also refuses an autopsy of his wife because they didn't really know why she died, and had her immediately cremated.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
So Stacy's family, surprise to no one, gets really concerned and suspicious that he has done something to Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, they file a wrongful death lawsuit against him. They also start doing some investigation. Is there any way, since she didn't have an autopsy and she didn't have, and she was cremated, is there any way to determine anything more about how she died? Well, it turns out yes, because Stacy was a responsible human who was an organ donor. And because she was an organ donor, a vial of her blood had been drawn and was being stored.
Okay.
So finally the parents managed to get that blood tested, and why, guess what? She had tetrahydrozoline in her system.
Oh my God. Now, wait a minute. Were her organs donated?
I'm not sure. I hope not. I think this all
that's
happened
a little scary.
Fairly quickly. It took close to a year for all of this to come down. But then, the medical examiner changes her cause of death to murder. And in December of 2019, so she died in September of 2018, so it took a little over a year. In December of 2019, Josh was charged with first-degree murder and insurance fraud. And police say, and I don't know why this is, this murder case is gagged and has been going on since 2019. I don't know how they know this, but what police have said is that they believe that Josh was inspired by Lana Sue Clayton. That, oh, hey, guess what? Did you know that you can kill someone with eye drops? I mean, we all know it because of who we are, but...
Right. Yeah. Holy cow.
So he is arrested, and he bonds out. His bond is a $1.5 million bond. And he bonds out. So he has been out since December 24th of 2019.
Oh my God.
In the interim between Stacy's death and before he was charged with Stacy's death, he's also charged with arson in a helicopter. This dude was a paramedic. And he was in like a life flight helicopter. And he lit something called a syringe pump on fire in the helicopter. And they had to make an emergency landing. Yeah, he is charged with arson. That case, by the way, is also still pending. That happened in 2019.
Cow.
He wasn't charged with it until 2021. I don't know if he was trying to kill himself. I don't know what he was trying to do. But, very stupid, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, Josh should be probably like keeping his head down and keeping his nose clean at this point because, he's facing murder charges. He's facing insurance fraud charges. Now he's got the arson on the helicopter. Like, he ought to be just keeping his head down, right?
I'm going to assume no.
No. No, because, well, apparently, I think part of this is that Josh Hunsucker just thinks he is bulletproof because these cases are all still pending and he is out. Well, he's not now, but he has been out for a long time.
Yeah.
All along, while he's been out on bond, he has been he is accused of harassing Stacy's parents. Filming them at because he has 2 children. Filming them at the kids' lacrosse practices and stuff. Mailing things to them, demanding that they drop the wrongful death case, like threatening them, this kind of stuff, right? So then, apparently that wasn't working for him because they are like, oh, hell no, we're not dropping the wrongful death case. We are going forward with this. In the midst of all of that, in 2022, the judge gags the murder trial. Or the murder case. So we don't really know what's going on with it or why it's taken so goddamn long. But Josh feels like there's not enough going on. There's not enough. He's not getting enough press. I don't know. He's not blaming enough stuff on his in-laws. I don't know. So on February 4th of 2003, he reports that he was assaulted, kidnapped, and drugged. And that he knows
2023?
2023.
Okay, you said 2003, so I'm trying to keep up. Okay.
2023. Oh my God, no.
Okay.
2023. So he says he was changing his tire on the side of the road and someone pistol whipped him from behind and injected him with something. And then he was kidnapped.
Wait, was it a guy with the last name of Murdaugh by any count?
No, it was not. He said it was his father-in-law.
Of course it was. Sure.
This didn't seem obvious to anyone else, right? So apparently, the police did some investigation and found that there was no evidence that Josh was ever kidnapped at all.
Oh, well, I'm very, very surprised by this news. Okay.
He wanted to get some more attention. So
he just needs to go to trial. He'll get plenty of attention that way.
Right. So, also in 2023, and also in February of 2023, after the fake kidnapping, he takes his daughter to the emergency room because she is very sick. And she's having symptoms of, guess what? Visine poisoning. You know how they know?
No.
Because he tells them that her symptoms remind him of Visine poisoning.
Oh my God.
And this little child has tetrahydrozoline in her system. She also has an antidepressant in her system that is not approved for children.
Oh,
guess who has this guy? How is this moron still out? He is such an idiot. Guess who has a prescription for said antidepressant not approved in children?
Oh, of course.
Josh Hunsucker. They found it when they were investigating his fake kidnapping. So now he has been charged by a grand jury in the poisoning of his daughter.
Good.
And, by the way, though, he tried to implicate his in-laws in the eye drops poisoning. He tried to say he was pretty sure it was them that poisoned his daughter.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
By the same means that he is currently facing first-degree murder charges of his own wife. Now, daughter lives. She has low levels, like he didn't give her as much. They think that he was giving Stacy tetrahydrozoline over time in her drinks, and that he was doing the same thing to the daughter. But they managed to catch it in time.
Unbelievable
so
that
now,
he was even allowed to see those kids.
Right? So now he has been indicted by a grand jury for the attempted poisoning of his daughter and the harassment of his in-laws. And the judge finally saw free to revoke old Joshua's bond. So his ass is sitting in jail now.
Bye, Josh.
Awaiting so many trials and so much stuff. This story is insane. how this guy got away with so much of this shit for so long and out this whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically the
Just so
judge said,
grateful the
well, I
daughter
think
is
we've got to
okay.
protect his right. The judge said, well, looks like we probably better protect the daughter and the in-laws.
You think?
Motherfucking, are you kidding me? Do you think maybe he should be protecting all those people? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And
It
all of
is like 5 true crime
society,
stories in one.
obviously.
Yeah. And now he's awaiting trial on all of this stuff. How has this murder trial been pending for 5 years?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it went through COVID. I get that part. But 5 years? Really?
We've been done with that for a hot minute, so
Yeah.
wow.
So, fingers crossed that this man does not see the light of day again for the sake of his family and the most vulnerable in his life, his own children. Yeah, Kathy, psychopath. Exactly, but dumb. Psychopath, but an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, he's tried to stage very unsuccessfully all this stuff. And, I mean, he tried to burn down a helicopter while he was in it. It was in the sky. It was flying at the time. It had to make an emergency landing.
Yeah.
I mean, also, and so you're going to hate me for this, Donald Trump was not on that helicopter either.
But who was?
Right. Apparently no one. But I am so blown away by, like, what? So,
Wow.
fortunately, he is now sitting his ass in jail. Bond revoked. He goes back to court in October, where they will revisit the bond on the murder charges, is what I've read. Good. What does that mean? Just revoke it. Why do you need to revisit it? Just keep his ass in jail. The fact that no one else is dead in this situation is amazing to me. And honestly terrifying. This guy
The fact that the daughter lived. That poor little thing, my God.
Yeah.
Not only did her dad murder her mother, but now also tried to kill her.
Yeah.
But that whole kidnapping hoax is
about rocket science here.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and the kidnapping hoax, I know, I'm like, oh, Alec Murdoch, is that you?
Yeah. Right. That was my first thought, too.
It was about
I was thinking just today, we haven't heard about him in a while.
Yeah, it's kind of great. How old is the daughter? She's 10. The kids are like 8 and 10 or 9 and 10, something like that. They're little.
Just little.
They lost their mom young, really young. And now, clearly have no father to speak of.
Yeah.
So my hope is for them that they are safe and happy.
And her parents are desperately trying to keep them safe from these fools. Yeah, or this fool. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully now that's what's going to happen. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on him and court dates coming up because we got to be sure that Josh Hunsucker stays his ass in jail where he belongs.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Top of the top of the FOS list, Josh.
Top of the FOS list, but I was like, how do I even tell this story? I'm just gonna, I left out a lot of the meat because, well, it's too much to do. It's just too much. You can go read about it, but it is insane to think that this many, that he's gotten away with this many crimes clear to this point. Yeah. So anyway, fuck you, Josh Hunsucker. I hope you stay in jail forever. And with that, Katie, you have some serial killer news for us.
I do. So this is not new. It's new to me, and I thought it was interesting enough that you guys would find it interesting. So I'm going to start in 1999. And in 1999, this guy right here, this is Tommy Lynn Sells. Tommy Lynn Sells broke into a home in Texas where two little girls, about 10 years old, were sleeping, two friends, and he slit their throats. And one of them died. The other one played dead until he left, and she lived. And she grew up and became an adult and moved to Idaho and started a family. And in the meantime, Tommy Lynn Sells was arrested and was convicted and put in prison, and also traced back to about 24 other killings, making him a serial killer, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been her life, is living through all of this. Well, you would think at some point it would be over, because in 2014, Tommy Sells was executed. And so then she could return to her, or have a life, beyond what happened to her.
Yeah.
You'd think so. But then in 2014, you would hope. In 2014, she started receiving on social media and via email crime scene photos from an online source, sending her crime scene photos and asking her really inappropriate questions about what happened to her, and eventually
crime scene photos of
what
family.
happened to her. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Holy shit.
And to her sisters. And cyberstalked them for quite a while. In fact, he also had multiple Facebook accounts that he was using to, lure them into allowing him to send them more shit, or, stalking them and tricking them, sending intimidating messages, threatening sexual assault. He revealed that he knows her home address and knows the name of her child.
Oh my God.
Sending messages to her siblings, claiming that he would do worse than what Tommy did.
Oh my God. Who the hell is this asshole?
So this goes on for about 2 years until the police finally run this guy down. He lives in Florida. He has no association to the case or to the victim, who I'm not going to name because she was a cyber stalking victim, and that's normally cyber stalking victims' names aren't even mentioned in court. They're not made public, so I'm not going to do it either. But at any rate, this absolutely terrorized her and her family, and so again, the police get involved and figure out who he is. They go to Florida and they arrest him. His name is Alvin Willie George. Alvin Willie George. So he admits to the police that he had created multiple Facebook accounts and that he was the one sending the threatening messages. And he was finally tried and sentenced, and has to serve 5 years in prison and pay $525 in restitution. Why?
What?
Just why? In the world?
It?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Why would you do that?
Do they know why? Is
No.
there any understanding of what brought him to?
If they do, I
after
don't.
This person?
When I read this or found the first article on this, I found several more and I've read up as much as I can, and there doesn't seem to be any reason. He's only 25. I'm guessing he learned about this case, obviously, about Sellers and his crimes, but why attack the victim and her family? I can't imagine. Yeah.
Wow. Obviously got some mental health issues.
But
That's terrifying.
Yeah. I can't even fathom why in the world somebody would do something like that. So now, hopefully, this poor girl, this actually happened clear back in 2017. I think think he was sentenced and imprisoned by 2018. But at any rate, I can't fathom it. I just can't. I've been seeing people on our Corey Richens stream of her hearing last week, people popping in and saying, supporting Corey, which has been kind of mind-blowing. And I finally asked one guy, are you going to become one of those people that marries someone in prison? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But at any rate, I also look at this and go, what are you doing? Anyway, it's hard to fathom why you would do something like that to somebody who was the survivor of a serial killer. It's not like he was a disgruntled family member, or somebody who knew any of them or anything. Not that still would have made it okay, but
yeah, that is just so bizarre. Like,
yeah,
I mean, mental health issues definitely, but yeah, why you would choose a surviving victim of a situation like that and go after them? That is just a special kind of sick.
I'll never understand it.
Me either.
So anyway, I thought that was a jaw-dropping case, so I wanted to throw it to you guys because I wanted to drop your jaws too. Yeah, I'm sure he got the crime scene photos. Maybe he did a FOIA. Maybe he found them online somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Erin said she's been asking the Koberger squatties if they're defending him in the comments because they want to marry him. Yeah, right. It's a good question because yes, they do.
Reddit group about justice for Brian Kober. I'm like, oh my god, you guys! Like,
oh, they're all over Twitter too, and they are bananas. Yeah.
I mean, like, tell me you got some mental health issues without telling me you got some mental health issues. I mean, Koberger of all of them, there was that Wade. Was it Wade Wilson? That horrible murderer that was just convicted. It was all over TikTok how hot he was. Remember how he had to get special permission for makeup to cover the swastika that was tattooed on his face for his trial? And there are all these people like, but he's so hot. And people like, like making him his picture their like phone screen background. So I'm like, you sick.
Yeah.
But Irene says it's the crotch shots and the eyebrows on Koberger.
No. Irene, you've done it now. Now we have to look at the crotch shots again. Yep.
That one.
You're probably right. Yep.
I mean, I'm a lesbian and I'm still. No, I'm not. Absolutely. Right. And then he didn't use the makeup. Yeah. These pictures are the best. What the hell, man? Why would you be interested in that guy? I
want to emulate him. We'll never know.
I cannot imagine.
No. You knew. I really knew it, man. She knew when she brought that up. We would have no choice but to show the pictures again.
Yep. We keep them right at hand because we know there's frequently an opportunity.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, recently, a while ago, in the Koberger matter, his public defender, Ann Taylor, had argued against cameras in the courtroom because all the cameras were doing were zoning in on Brian Koberger's crotch, which we thought was hilarious and astonishing. We really did search the internet.
We did. We scoured the interwebs.
Yep.
No.
And we couldn't find any, so we had to make some.
Yeah, we did. Well, you did, and they're fantastic.
The magnifying glass
Absolutely
really is
hilarious.
But
it really is, yes.
Yeah, sure, Anne. Sure, that's a really interesting argument to make, Anne. Really.
As a defense attorney, I that dropped pretty low. We were at the National Enquirer level facts on that one. Like, lady, you are nuts.
Well, maybe she was talking about all those Brian Koberger squatties that want to marry him. Maybe that's where that was coming from.
I don't know. I'm sure he's getting letters, and it's so gross.
She said definitely not a pole vaulter.
No, not a pole vaulter at all.
Sorry, Brian. No.
Been trying to get a hold of a kitten so I could show you guys.
Oh.
See, here's Liddy B. They're so big. They just had their second round of shots and they gained over a pound each from one appointment to the next, and they were a month apart. And they are like this. They just want to run and play all the time. But they are hilarious too.
Pretty sweet babies. Or wild babies anyway.
They're pretty wild. Gigi made me bleed a minute ago, but you know, that's pretty much my life now with these crazy girls. They are obsessed with their older sister Mimi, and they follow her everywhere because they want to emulate her. They sleep in her bed. When she naps, they nap. When she washes her face, they wash their faces. And if they get too close to them, she threatens to kill them. So, you know, that's how it's going.
That sounds right. That tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, but she allows them to be near her now, which is better. It's getting better. She still warns them a lot, but it seems to be getting better. And Sandy does nose touches with them on a regular basis.
Oh.
And doesn't freak out. So.
Wow.
It's going
Thanks, Sandy. Yes.
Yeah. Sandy, I think, kind of forgets they exist and then remembers them, as she does all of us who live in this house.
Yeah. Yeah. She's surprised to see everyone. It's just like every day's her birthday.
Oh, where have you live here? Where did you come from? Yeah, she gets that look on her face on a regular basis, and I'm like, oh, honey, I have to be sure and watch her eat because I need to make sure she's eating.
Yeah.
Does Sandy have ADHD? No, I think Sandy has dementia. She's 14, and I think she has dementia. She just gets a real
She's got some old kitty stuff going on. Yeah,
she does. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, well, that was a wild ride.
That was a wild ride, indeed.
Yeah. Well, we will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain with more wild ride because it never stops. One thing we know that never stops, and that's crime. So we will definitely have more stories for you tomorrow.
Indeed.
We appreciate all of you being here. We love that you show up to our lives. It's so much fun. We're really enjoying doing our shows live instead of pre-recorded because it's really fun to just be here with all of you while we do it.
Yeah.
Really. And if you can't attend live, that's great. We love you too. We appreciate you, whether you're on YouTube or on the pod, anywhere that you're listening on the pod. We always appreciate when you like, comment, share, follow, leave a review, you know, all the stuff depending on what platform you're on. And remember that you can go to truecrimesquad.com. That's where you will find the link to our Discord, our Patreon, all of our socials. And I put our SoundCloud over there because, you know, we've come out with some true crime bops. So SoundCloud is over on truecrimesquad.com.
Yep.
Our merch is over there. Katie's Etsy store is there. And my Fidget Whimsy store is there. And we just appreciate all of the ways that you support us and that you just show up and love true crime with us. Well, I think that'll do it for tonight. So, you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.